Well, friends, it's over with. The state of Louisiana will not have constitutional carry, at least not this year. After getting this close, guys, this close, after having a veto session that was taking place, first time since 1974, since the implementation of the new Louisiana Constitution, we were going to have a veto override. The governor had overridden the transgender bill, or at least vetoed, rather, the transgender bill that was going to allow boys to beat up on girls in state sports. And he had vetoed the constitutional carry bill that a lot of Republicans and some Democrats even had voted for in the House and the Senate. Well, that all changed today. We had our session, and today we found out what these politicians were truly made of. We found out which politicians had simply voted in favor of those things whenever they knew it didn't matter. They knew that we weren't going to get it because they knew the governor at the time was already threatening. I wouldn't say openly, but it was pretty clear the governor's threat to veto these bills was there. So this goes to show you that these people, those of you that are in those voting districts, remember this, these politicians only voted for those things because they were actually not going to happen. They knew they weren't going to happen. So they really weren't in favor of them. They simply voted in favor of constitutional carry because they knew that you would see how they voted and you needed to put them back in office. You need to remember that now. The people that you need to vote out is Louie Bernard, Patrick Connick, Franklin Foyle, and Ronnie Johns, which Ronnie Johns is termed out anyway, so he's gone, and Gary Smith, who is a Democrat. These people voted for the constitutional carry bill. Now, Ronnie Johns, in his weak defense, I'm defending him a little bit right here, he simply didn't go to the session because he had knee replacement surgery. I don't know what he would have done had he shown up anyway. So I got to put an asterisk next to his name. However, Louie Bernard, Patrick Connick, Franklin Foyle are Republicans who had voted for this before. They showed up for the override session and they voted against this bill. Gary Smith, the lone Democrat that had voted for this bill, also voted against this. Watch, people. Watch how they get paid off. Watch what they get in return. They traded something for something. Watch if they get appointments, if they get lobbyist positions or whatever. But I know one thing, and it's up to you and I to do this, vote them out. Make sure they don't have another opportunity to ever represent you because clearly they do not represent your best interest. I heard a lot of, I had it, this was from, what was the coward? Louie Bernard. Louie Bernard was like, when I voted for it before, I didn't have the chance to talk to law enforcement, but law enforcement talked me into not supporting it. Give me a break. Come on, guys, let me tell you something. I have a lot of law enforcement friends out there, so you guys know me and you know where I stand on law enforcement. But let me tell you something. You and I, in most cases, we have way more firearms experience and training than almost all law enforcement out there. Law enforcement guys are not known to be gun guys. I don't care that they have one strapped to their hip every day. They don't shoot it every day. They don't shoot it every month. They don't shoot it every weekend like we do. In fact, in the state of Louisiana, in most cases, they're only going to shoot anywhere from 30 to 60 rounds a year, and that's twice during the year. So they may not pull the trigger at all any other time, and a lot of them absolutely don't. We are the gun experts, not some captain of a police agency, of the state police or a sheriff or a police commissioner or a captain or whatever. Those guys aren't gun guys. They're absolutely not gun guys. They are not gun guys. I don't care what you say. Again, don't be fooled by the fact that somebody puts one on their hip that they're somehow a gun guy because it's their job. Very little training they have. Most of them have to be taught how to tear down a gun. When you guys are purchasing guns, and I'm talking about myself too, we educate ourselves. We train ourselves. This group of guys are hanging their hat on, they talked me into the fact that these people wouldn't be trained. Okay, you're okay with somebody walking around open carrying and doing everything else, but for some reason putting their shirt over the gun now all of a sudden you're concerned with training. Yeah, you were okay with all of that lack of training, so to speak, before, but now it's an issue. Bull crap. I'm not buying it. I don't believe it. These are traitors to the voters of Louisiana. We need to vote them out. They ruined an absolutely good chance for the citizens of Louisiana to have constitutional carry. We need to see to it that they are gone.